Okay, guys, welcome to the maintenance program. I'm excited to get this one up and going. It's going to break down some things, some questions, concerns I've roughly been hearing around the gym as we get going here. So the maintenance program is still a progression program. It's just not as aggressive, and I'll get into some reasons why we're going to do that. We're all about getting the body to work as efficiently as it can, get the metabolism to function the best that it can. And I'll explain why we're going with this method. So with the calories and macros, everybody's roughly going to be going back to wherever they were on week 3. We're going to shift the calories up a touch. It's minimal. Don't freak out that we're bumping your calories up. It doesn't mean you're going to put on weight. I promise you. The body, just like it needs a different workout all the time, if you do the same workout all the time, it's going to get used to it and it's going to plateau. Same with calorie deficit or macro shifts. If your body's constantly seeing a small, consistent change, you'll plateau, it'll haul off, and I'll explain why. So with that calories and macros, you're going to go back to week 3. With that, the whole purpose of the shift is to get the body out of the deficit, because what happens if you continue to drop and drop and drop and drop, the body starts anticipating what's coming and saying, oh, well, I'm getting less this week, I'm getting less this week, and the metabolism will slow down. If you starve yourself in general, the metabolism slows down to hold on to what you have. So if we continue to see that drop, the body is going to slow down. So the whole idea is we do a small bump, and doing that small bump, you'll actually see a pound or 2 come off throughout that week. I see it happen all the time with people. So some of you may have been hitting a plateau come week 5 and 6. Again, when that happens and you see a small surplus come back, you'll see the weight drop back down because it needs that boost. So again, trust us on the process. Don't freak out that we're bumping it up a little bit. Again, it's still minimal in the grand scheme of things, but that's the purpose of the shift of the macros and the calories. With this, as anything, consistency is going to be the key on all this. Your workouts, keep them coming. You work out as much as you can, as hard as you can, and we should be in much better shape than we were at the beginning of the 6 weeks. Hopefully you're getting more workouts in than you were at the beginning of the 6 weeks. This is the time now to really focus in on the workouts, the intensity of the workouts, the weight of the workouts. Go heavier, move a little bit harder. Take breaks as needed, as we always coach, guys, but you should be getting in better shape as we go, so the intensity of those workouts can drive up. Really take advantage of your warm-up, move more, hit the sprint hard. You'll see that make a huge difference throughout that workout, so keep the workouts coming. Now, with all that being said, a little bit looser on what we call a cheat meal or treat meal or refeed meal. I don't like the terminology of cheat meal, but whatever works for you guys. What I recommend is having 1 meal a week where you sit down and just eat and drink whatever you want to. Don't count it. Don't put it into MyFitnessPal. Live a little bit as long as you were good through the entire week. Or if you're sticking with your game plan. So for instance, if I were to stick with this, and Nicole and I are staying very strict, we will pick one night throughout the week where we will do that. Now, that week will depend on what we have going on. So, for instance, I like to try to make it Saturday nights because I know I'm going to feel like crap the next morning. So I like to have it in a morning where I'm not getting up as early or moving as much, because I know if I'm eating some junk or drinking a little bit, I'm going to feel it the next day, and I don't want that to affect my work or what I have going on that following day. But for instance, Nicole's school had a trivia night where you sit down with a bunch of different food in front of you. Open bar, so we planned for that to be Friday night was the game plan for that. So shift that around your schedule. Make it work for you guys. Again, sit down, eat, drink, enjoy. Don't count it as long as we get it back into gear the following day. It's 1 meal, not 1 day. You can cancel out an entire week in 1 day, guys. So again, keep it mindful. Keep it your last meal of the day so it doesn't trickle through. If you have a ton of sugar and carbs, and bad food, you're going to keep craving that consistently throughout the day. So that's why I save it for the last meal. If you're a person that you think it's going to cause you to spiral out of control, then don't do it. Depends on your personality. If you're doing good and you continue to strive forward and you know that 1 meal is going to throw you for a loop, don't touch it. Depends on the person. So that's the idea behind all that. Again, I can't stress enough, guys, do not freak out about us bumping your numbers back up. A quick example of this, if anybody's familiar or understands the bodybuilding world or the, bikini competition and stuff like that. What people do, and you see it happen all the time, not all athletes, but some, and that's not the epitome or I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but that's not the top tier of health, guys. That's a sport. People do certain things for their sports. when people are up on that stage, they're incredibly dehydrated. They only look like that for 2 or 3 days, and then they balloon out the next couple of days. Just again, they're training for that specific day, which there's nothing wrong with that. But people put the idea that that is health and wellness in their mind, and it is far, far from it. Now, with that being said, in that sport, you see people, they start out 12 weeks out, 14 weeks out from their show week, and they can continue to drop and shift macros and deficit until they hit their show. And then when they hit their show, they sit there and they may even remain at a deficit after that. But you'll see there's a point in time where their body and their metabolism hits a full-on plateau. And then they go from being as lean as they were to completely puffing back out. Now, they may go crazy the next couple days eating foods that they haven't. You'll see them put 15, 20 pounds back on, but then all of a sudden their body goes into a crazy stall. It's called post-show shock. I've seen it happen all the time to where no matter what they do, how many calories they cut, how many macros they shift, how hard they work out, they will retain that weight because the body has been in such a long starvation mode that when it finally got a little bit more, it held on to it. Now, our purpose is just to give you a little bit more so that metabolism picks up, say, oh, I've got to get rid of this additional calorie that I got because it's looking to get rid of everything because it's in the ideally fat burning zone. I know it gets a little complicated with that. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible, but that's the idea behind all that, and that's what we're trying to avoid. So stay consistent with the macros on this. Have one evening. Don't go full on crazy, if that all kind of makes sense in a nutshell. It's really hard to kind of break that down, but that can give you an idea of why we're going the way we're going. Consistent, steady, with purpose is the whole idea. So I know that was a lot. I know I'm rambling a ton here, but just kind of want to give you guys a background of why, because I know people freak out when we say we're going to bump the calories up a little bit, and it works. I promise you, I can guarantee you it works. And we'll go from there, and we'll continue to shift as the maintenance goes on. It just won't be as aggressive as the 6 week program. All right, so work hard this week into these next 4, and then excited to see the progress we continue to see with the maintenance program.